The pandemic really made us change all of our operations. So at the beginning of the pandemic, our focus was to keep all of our clients and staff safe. So initially when the pandemic hit, we had to stop doing classes, all the dogs off campus, so that all of our staff could start working remotely and they were off campus. We still are providing support for 2,100 clients of ours, and so that, like most of the world, moved to virtual. All of our field service managers live throughout the United States, and our instructors also provide in-person visits normally. Because we couldn't provide those in-person visits, we would be doing phone calls with our clients and also Zoom calls with our clients. Our clients are really savvy as far as technology. We had to adapt to that. Normally we would visit them and do a home interview, and we did some virtual home interviews. This has really given us an opportunity to try some things that we've wanted to for a long time.
As Oregon went into the shutdown phase and we got the dogs off campus, we wanted to make sure our staff was safe. And we have wonderful volunteers, most of them the puppy raisers that took in the dogs. And when that happened, the trainers who were training those dogs had direct weekly contact with the people. So they were really in contact and knowing what the dogs are doing, how the dogs are doing. They were giving suggestions. And then when we started bringing the dogs back, we started with a smaller group of dogs and our more senior type of instructors. And then shortly thereafter, we brought the rest of the group back. And so we're in the process of seeing what we can do, how much work we can do. What's been really great is most of the dogs came back just ready to go, pretty much where they left off. Some of us needed to build up our stamina again, but most of them just came back ready to go. They were all excited to come back.
The best is home.
Safety is at the forefront of everyone's mind. I mean, that's the most important thing. And as the community started opening up a little bit, we looked at everything and figured out what we can do, what we couldn't do. Our whole campus here we have signs up as far as reminding people about social distancing. We have hand washing stations, hand sanitizing stations all over.
While it changed our operations, it also changed everyone's how much they go out. Clients that have had new dogs and dogs that they've had for a long time found themselves in kind of a changed environment. They weren't going out as much. So we developed some resources. We called them boredom busters, things that they could do with their dog while at home to provide enrichment and to keep their skills up. We also provided some advice. We also had a Zoom call with over 200 applicants to our program just to provide some engagement. There's lots of people waiting for guide dogs, and it's one of the things I think that's been the hardest for all of us here at Guide Dogs as far as not being able to provide guide dogs right now. And so we're really excited to be getting back to that. For a blind person, a lot of the ways that we social distance, as far as if you have vision, that you're judging how close someone is to you. And so if you do come in contact with a person who's blind, really use your voice to let them know where you are as far as distance. So that's been something challenging for our clients to navigate. Also for our dogs, they're not trained to social distance.
We have what we call a dog sim. It's a fake dog with a harness on it. And we had that before, but the harness handle length would put the person with the visual impairment holding the harness handle, and the instructor would push the dog, and they were very close together. And so we've added this pole to it so the instructor can stay back and do a little more work with the client that way in a socially distanced space.
I remember at the beginning of this pandemic, people were, stocking up on food and supplies and everything. And I think one of the things we realized is we didn't understand a lot of the virus and the pandemic and all those things. And so the need for compassion and understanding that people didn't always know what to do, and to just remind yourself of that as you go through your daily life. One of our key objectives is that as we open back up is to lead with care. And so that's just committing that our actions affect others and really trying to get everyone to think about things in that way, which means, wearing your mask and being mindful of how close you get to people, and that's how we're all going to be successful in this, as far as understanding, empathy, and trying to look out for each other.